So this is the 2023 setup tour you've been waiting for. You've seen bits and pieces of my setup on stream or on Instagram, but you haven't really ever seen it like this. Today, you're coming on a journey with me to see the full scope of my room. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the complete tour. All right, so we'll start here with the shelves and go around the room in a circle until we get to the main setup over here at the end. If you see something and you want to know what it is, feel free to ask below. I'll answer every single comment. First, let's talk about these shelves. This was the last thing I added to my setup, and I almost didn't include them, but I'm glad that I did. The shelves give me a chance to include more of my personality in the setup. For example, this is my very first DSLR camera, the Sony Lumix G7. I used to use this camera on my very early Twitch streams and even my first vlog on YouTube. I went through a lot with this camera, so it's nice to see it here on the shelf every once in a while. Reebok also sent out their sneaker collab with Street Fighter, which is a game I loved back in the day. These are some Nike Dunks, and this is the box my white 4080 came in. I just think it looks cool. Now, sitting hunched over at a desk all day is the best way to destroy your neck. It feels super nice to be able to stand if you want to, change things up a little bit, and get some more energy with a standing desk. Now, this area of the room was originally just supposed to be a small laptop setup, but I like this spot so much I couldn't stop adding more and more. Like, it was basically a compulsion. First a bigger monitor, then some lighting, then a full PC, and now it's just an entire second setup. Now, honestly, at this point, the 60-inch desk that I started with just is not cutting it anymore. I'm thinking of replacing it with a 72-inch or maybe even an 84-inch. Stay tuned for that. That'll be another video. Now, here you'll also see a 43-inch flat screen ultra-wide monitor by a Nokin. They're a pretty solid budget monitor brand, and they sent me this one out for free. Now, this is my second PC here. The specs aren't quite as good as the PC we'll see in the main setup in a bit, but they're still pretty beastly. We've got a white 3080 GPU, an i9 11900K, 32 gigs of Corsair DDR5, 9 Lian Li 120mm fans, all packaged in the very popular Lian Li 011 Dynamic in white. Now, while the specs of my other PC are higher, this PC is still pretty cutting edge and has more than enough power for my day-to-day activities like video editing or gaming. Now let's talk about peripherals. Peripherals are how we interact with our PCs. They can't just enhance our experience, but also need to empower us to achieve our goals. Whether it's a keyboard that feels like a natural extension of your fingers or a mouse that gives you a competitive edge in game, the right peripherals can change everything. For my mouse here, I'm rocking the Razer Viper Ultimate, which is perfect for competitive gaming. But I also use the G502X, which is a more ergonomic and comfortable mouse for everyday work and more laid-back games. We're talking like GTA 5, Minecraft, old school RuneScape, games like that. For my keyboard, I use the Mojo 84 by Melgi, and this is definitely my favorite keyboard right now. It's just got such a unique look. They absolutely killed it with the aesthetics. Here's a quick sound test as well. Moving on to the backdrop. Just like the shelves, the backdrop behind your desk is a chance to show who you are. And also like the shelves, this backdrop is a reflection of my personality and style. If you're wondering where I got these, the lights are Nanoleaf Minis by Nanoleaf, and the wall art was sent out by iCanvas. Also, I absolutely love this LED sign. Now we'll check out the backdrop of the main setup at the end when we dive into that part of the room. Now, this part of my room is absolutely dominated by the massive 75-inch Roku TV, which is the biggest model they make. It is awesome, but I mainly use this place as a spot to unwind, play some PS5 games, or watch some TV. These days, I'm watching Beef or Season 3 of Demon Slayer. Now, some other features here include this 48-inch tube light by Nanlite. This thing just looks super dope, and you can change it to any color that you want. Of course, I gotta have the PS5 here, and when I'm not using my camera, I stash it on top of the entertainment center as well. And finally, we have the main setup. The desk is the foundation of any workspace where all the ideas are born and creations come to life. It's where I spend countless hours typing, clicking, and creating, so it's essential that it is both functional and inspiring. I'm one of the few creators out there who decided to forego the traditional IKEA Alex drawer setup. Sure, it's a good setup, but I wanted to take things one step further, and I did that with a 120-inch laminate countertop from Lowe's, held in place by 4 heavy-duty commercial-grade brackets from Amazon. Now, with this setup, I can achieve what an Alex drawer desk could never do. It's a 10-foot-long desk without any sagging in the middle, and it also doesn't need an awkward support column that you always bang your legs against. Now, it's not all upside. It does have one downside: storage space. But don't worry, I've got you covered. You can use some attachable drawers like this that keep everything organized and easily accessible. Trust me, your workspace will thank you. Now, when it comes to monitors, I might have gone a little bit overboard. In the center, we have the Alienware monitor, a 240 Hz beast with a 1 millisecond response time and 1440p resolution. This monitor is the stuff of legends. It's like a Ferrari for your eyeballs. To the left, we have a $1,500 48-inch 4K monitor that thankfully BenQ sent out for free. And lastly, we have a 55-inch $3,500 Samsung Odyssey Arc that I also got for free. Not paying for that. This monitor is outrageous and it's definitely a cool flex piece, but it's really not practical at all. I find myself using the BenQ 48-inch way more often because the Odyssey Arc is just too big. Honestly, the main purpose of this is to look cool in the background of my videos. Now, I'm not big on energy drinks, so my mini fridge is actually stacked with liquid death. If I do end up drinking caffeine, it's usually just from a cup of coffee. Now, for the peripherals, we already talked about my G502X, but I actually have a really dope keyboard that's on the way that I'm not going to share quite yet. But for now, I'm rocking the Everest 60 by Mountain, which is also an extremely solid keyboard if you don't want to look as exotic as the Mojo 84. For my headset, it's the AirPods Max, which are super comfortable, sound great, but are possibly the most overpriced thing in this room. These are 34 Nanoleaf lines by Nanoleaf, all controlled with an app on my phone. I really like these for a gaming setup because they make the wall look so much more interesting and vibrant. Now let's talk about the main PC. To be honest, this PC has a bit of a problem. It was originally supposed to be built in the Lian Li O11 Dynamic Evo, but at the last minute, NZXT told me they could send me out the new H9 Flow, which I of course said yes to because it looks so clean. And the only problem is the Flow is slightly more narrow than the Evo in a few important spots. So right now the PC is running, but you might notice a few things that need fixing. Anyway, the specs are a white 4080 gigabyte GPU, an i9 13900K, 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 4 terabytes of SSD, and only 5 Lian Li fans, which will very soonly be 10. Stay tuned for me fixing this PC and making it look way cleaner. If you're still here, you're one of the real ones. I hope you found some inspiration and ideas for your own workspace. Don't forget, the key to a productive and inspiring workspace is finding the stuff that works for you. In the next few weeks, I'm going to do some more videos that are going to help you take your space to the next level. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. This has been my 2023 dream gaming setup. My name is Chillrog, and I'm out.